Greetings, I'm Kathy Green with Christian News and Interviews. And so I'm going to talk today about beloved Houston pastor suicide, stuns family and friends. And let me first say this, I honestly had never heard of this pastor before. But as I was doing my research on him, oh my goodness, his voice is out of this world. He has a beautiful voice, a talented person. And just wanted to share a little bit because this is really sad. And suicide is not a joke. What really bothers me about this 45-year-old man committing suicide, such a talented pastor, because not only could he preach, but the man had a voice that was just out of this world. The song that I'm going to, he has a lot of songs on YouTube, but the one I'm going to play just a snippet of for you today is the one where he sings about, God gave his son, his name was Jesus. And then he goes on to talk about, because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lived, I can face tomorrow. And I'm wondering, did he minister to his own self? Did he minister to himself? Sometimes in life, when you're in the ministry, ministers gain pleasure and enjoyment, true ministers, from ministering to others and leading others into a saving grace of Jesus Christ and uplifting others. But sometimes ministers have to be uplifted themselves. And I'm wondering, did he ever minister to himself? Sometimes you just need to speak the word to your own self. I'm just going to read a little bit about this, and my heart just goes out to him, his family. I'm just sorry that he chose that route. For more than 2 weeks, the circumstances surrounding the October 19th death of Quinnzhahn Barnes, a beloved father, singer, and pastor of the Selah Fellowship Temple in Houston, Texas, remained under wraps by those closest to him. So the family was so devastated, and I understand that they weren't talking about it. It just wasn't even getting out too much because I guess they had to deal with this on their own first. And I understand it. When you don't see it coming, it is with profound sadness that we share that our beloved Quinnzhahn Barnes has passed away. Barnes' youngest son, Quinnzhahn James Barnes, announced on Facebook. We know that Quinnzhahn, known to many as Rodney Barnes, impacted the lives of many and was loved locally, statewide, and nationally because of his gift of singing and preaching, and also his human love of people. I'm going to skip down a little bit. Listen to this. None of the pastors responded to requests for an interview from the Christian Post. I'm not surprised because those pastors are respecting the wishes of the family. And I can tell this family is so devastated. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want other people talking about it. As you can see, he passed away in October. We're now into November. And it's just starting to really get out. When asked specifically whether her son's death was a suicide, Barnes's mother, Diane Barnes Motley, said Tuesday that she was still trying to come to terms with her son's passing. She told Christian Post that his official cause of death was not yet final. He had died from a gunshot wound to the head, she said, refusing to mention the word suicide. And there's something else I want to mention. In the Black community, suicide is a no-no. Black people as a whole are actually very conservative people. And that may be hard for some people to understand because there's so much crime in the Black community. And so you wouldn't think that Black people are conservative, but as quiet as it kept, There are certain things in the Black community that are just no-nos, and you just don't even talk about. Suicide is a no-no in the Black community. Now, do Black people commit suicide? Yes, but it's not acceptable in the Black community. Abortion, believe it or not, even though there are Black people having abortions, it's not acceptable in the Black community. Black people tend to be very conservative. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm very conservative. If you ever hear me talk about certain cases, my views, I'm conservative in my views. I'm a conservative person. So I can understand why his mother doesn't want to talk about it. She needs to come to terms with this. And she might not ever come to terms. So I'm going to share with you now just a little snippet of this man's voice. And from there, you can just go to YouTube and put in this information and find it for yourself. But turn up your volume so that you can really hear this. And better yet, put in his name and listen to it firsthand from YouTube. Listen to that voice.
Jesus died just to buy my pardon and an empty grave is there to prove that my Savior lives, and because He lives,
Yes.
we can face tomorrow.
Okay. So that was just a snippet of this man's absolutely stunning voice that's straight from heaven, anointed voice. And the words of it says, because he lives, I can face tomorrow. I am so sorry that he didn't minister to his own self before he allowed the devil to talk him into taking his life. My heart and my prayers go out to his family. Those of you who know the word of prayer, those of you who are serious about God, keep his family in your prayers. This is just a travesty of justice and just a horrible situation. So keep his church family and his physical family in your prayers. God bless. And by the way, I'm going to post the number to the suicide hotline below. Please, people, I don't care what's going on in your life, do not choose. Suicide does not solve problems. It only makes your problems permanent. So I'm going to post the number to the suicide hotline below. But suicide is no joke. And I don't care what the situation is, there's always a remedy. God bless.